Hello my friends and welcome back to Player Display. So bad news, I got bored again. And worse news, that means I randomly decided to do an impulsive tier list ranking. So one thing I wanted to talk about for a long time, and I've kind of looped that into some reviews I've done in the past, but I've never really gone into depth about it, even though I really wanted to, is LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, which is probably one of the best video games ever made. I mean, no one's listening to my voice and shaking their head unless they find the sound of my voice utterly repulsive, but as for the words being emulated by my voice, they're uncontestable. You know how great LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga is, as well as its two predecessors, but it was those original two, and they both came together to make this big Supermax Star Wars LEGO game. So obviously this is the best one, right? Quantity over quality. So anyways, I got two tier lists here, as you can see. I have one for all the levels, then I have one for all the characters, and for the life of me, I wasn't sure which one to start with. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna do both of these tonight, and which one am I gonna do first? I don't actually know yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and I don't have a coin, so what do I have around me? I have a TV remote. Alright, so we'll go with the more square looking one. I got my DVD remote. I'm just gonna flip it and we'll see it. Alright, button side up, we review characters. Battery side up, we review the levels. And then I'm just gonna be reviewing everything based on preference and the legacy that they had for me, pretty much. It's not gonna be an objective ranking because those are boring as hell, and I feel like just everyone will have the same list, so we're not going to do that. But anyways, flipping it around, that was pathetic. Hold on, let me dolly it and like flip it so it's like spinning in the air like it's going to hit someone in the head. Like, it needs to be flipped at a dangerous velocity in order for it to count as a flip. Yeah, okay. It was so bad it hit the floor. Hold on a minute. You gotta leave me for a second here. I guess as I go to retrieve my remote from the crack in between my reclining couch, I will say that my LEGO Star Wars experience started when... Alright, I'm gonna take you guys downstairs with me. It started with my uncle showing me his... I believe it was a PlayStation first gen, like PlayStation 1, which was a big deal to me because I never owned a console, not Jedi console, a console, there we are. That was one of the only times I ever actually played on a console in my life. Here we go. Okay, I'm down here. Let's see. There we are. It's button side up! It's button side up! We're starting with characters today. I knocked over my Prison Superman custom. Oh well, that's a damn shame, but anyways, here, we're going back up. Sorry if the audio's been wonky. Okay, now we're gonna sit back down. Again, it's a PODguy podcast. Things are going to get very messy. They're going to get very stupid. That's how these go. There's going to be disagreements. There's going to be things that don't go quite according to plan. There is no agenda. We just do things. Sorry, it's a little Heath Ledger Joker. But anyways, situate the phone back down for audio because the audio recorder on my new computer, as pretty and beautiful as it is absolute crap. So, let me check I'm still recording. I am. Let's begin. So we're doing a character ranking. So that starts off with Forlom, because everything here appears to be in alphabetical order. And this is all characters, not just characters you unlock in levels, but, you know, bonus characters that you unlock outside of them, or whatever, or maybe they're just exclusive to the Cantina store. But anyways, we're starting off with the Forlom. I'm a big Forlom guy. I think he's a severely underrated character. There's not enough story to him in Star Wars lore, nor is there enough of him just in the media in general. He of course showed up in the classic Bounty Hunter lineup in Empire Strikes Back, and one thing that always bugged me since I was a kid is they have every single bounty hunter from that lineup in this game except for poor Zuckuss, who is Forlom's counterpart, which really sucks, so that really stinks. But I do love Forlom a lot. His sound design is quite mythical and magical, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna give him an S tier. Also, his abilities are really cool. He's a bounty hunter, he has a big ass blaster that's pretty much as tall as him, and he has thermal detonators, so I mean, how can you say no to him? He's quite amazing. Then we have Ayla Secura. Funnily enough, last tier list we did, she was the very first character. Now she's the second, so she got notched down by numbers, apparently. But She's pretty cool. I don't like the way that they kind of fudge certain Jedi and alien designs into existence in this game. They just look like really sloppy, like conglomerations of polygons rather than actual Lego designs. And Aayla Secura is one of them. I feel like her Leku, which are the head tails of the Twi'lek species, were a little too sharp. I feel like you could stab your thumb if you were playing with her. So she was a little disappointing. Her moveset was kind of cool, but other than that, she was just a Jedi. But all that being said, she is Aayla Secura, and even in plastic form, she's still kind of hot. So I'll go ahead and I guess I'll give her a C tier. That's fine. Admiral Akbar, he has a revolver, so I'll go ahead and give him a B tier. We have Baby Anakin, pretty much. Pretty useless character. You never want to play as him, he can't really do anything. Although he kind of has an excellent death scream, so you know what, I'll go ahead, I'm going to give him a D tier. Wait, why does he get a white background? What makes him so special? I guess he's the Chosen One. And speaking of Chosen One, here's the youngest version of Anakin, and here's the oldest version, being the Force Ghost Anakin, who is one of the most impossible character. Well, he is impossible to kill unless you jump into a void of oblivion, but he's one of 3 Force Ghosts, the other 2, of course, being Obi-Wan and Yoda, who I'm sure are coming up later, but yeah, he's pretty cool. It's a fun little pick-me-up as soon as you unlock him. I think you unlock all the ghosts when you complete all core levels, but I never really played as him much, but I did find it amusing that if you tried using one of those helmet dispensers, that you could indeed put a 10 helmet on top of a celestial being, so I found that pretty goddamn hilarious. But yeah, he was pretty cool. I never really chose to play as him per se, but he was still a neat character, so alright, I'll give him a B, but I'll put him below Akbar because, again, Akbar has a revolver. That's pretty kick-ass. Then we have Living Anakin. I guess we're with him more. There's a little bit more nostalgia. Again, lightsaber style is also really cool, but he just resonates with me more than the Force Ghost because the Ghost comes in later, even though he is a better character, if not a cheat character, if you go back in during free play, but he's so neat. Young Anakin, a little more whiny than the older one, I guess, so I'll put him a little lower. Give him a high C tier above Aayla because we play as him more. Now we have a whole bunch of battle droids, the B1 battle droids, which is why they're a little bit higher. So I respect that continuity and the lore thus put into this list. So we have first the Commander, who is already my favorite of the 4, because he had that little Roger, Roger mic that he always put up to his ear. And that's one thing that always bugged me about these games, is you had 2 characters who could pull up that little mic, being the B1 battle droid Commander, being this one, and Garandan, who's better known as the Imperial Spy. And when you encounter them as enemies in the game, then they summon other units to back them up, and they don't stop charging into them until you kill the host with the little microphone. So I really hated that when you finally unlock these characters, they could do the microphone animation, but nobody would drop down to help you. I just thought that would have been so cool, and they should have done that in the new game. But anyways, he's my favorite of the B1 battle droids. I'll give him, I don't know, he makes me a little happier because he has that feature. So I'll put him in, no, I'll put him below Akbar. Alright, that's fine. I say if we have many of the same character and are pretty much identical in every way, we'll probably just put them together. So all these 3 battle droids are probably going to go below our Commander here. So you got the Geonosis variant. Thought the pink was cool. I played the game. I wasn't too familiar with the Lego sets at the time, so I'm like, hey, it's a kind of pinkish battle droid. That's kind of cool. So I'll go ahead and I'll give him a high C. Why not? Have the standard one. It's fun to see him go down. I always love that. So we'll put him literally right below the Commander droid in B tier. Then we have the security one, the very first enemy you encounter, at least in the complete Saga version of the 3 games, where it's the 2 games combined, as I said. But they do have some of the only instances of actual audible language when they say intruder alerts. That's kind of cool. But they're also red, and I like red a lot, as I've talked about in other reviews, so we'll go ahead and put them above Standard B1 and Commander B1, and that works for me. So that's all of them. And then we had, oh, you know what? So if these are alphabetical, that infers that this isn't just any Stormtrooper. This is Beach Trooper. You know why Beach Trooper's so good. You first encounter him in the New Hope, very first New Hope level, which is my personal favorite. A little spoiler there, but you open the escape pods so that way you can escape with R2 in the plans, and for some reason leave Rebel Friend behind, which is totally awful, and I still hate the fact that the game did that. But in one of the escape pods, you have 2 beach troopers kind of just hot tubbing, just chilling out, not really minding anyone's business, and there's even like a good solid 5-second delay before they even react to you, so that just adds to the comedic relief, especially on the fact that, I'll say this about all of them, the fact that nobody has any voice lines adds so much charm to this game that the new one didn't. The new one's still fun, but it did not have charm at all. This is the charming game of all of them, really, and the 2 before, but again, that doesn't really count because it's both of them. But yeah, Beach Trooper, we're gonna put him in A tier. It's a stormtrooper in a 1950s bathing suit. Like, how are you gonna say no to that? We have Old Ben. I like Old Ben. Anything that's New Hope relevant, I'm gonna put pretty up there. So I'll put him below Beach Trooper because Beach Trooper is hilarious. Then we also have Ghost Ben. Pretty much same reasoning for Ghost Anakin, but I'll put him higher because I prefer Ben Kenobi over Anakin Skywalker, at least in the movies. As characters, conceptually, obviously Anakin takes the cake, but for me, this is the Lego universe, and I prefer Lego Ben Kenobi. I almost said Ben Solo. We're not that far ahead in the licensing yet. But oh, the Bespin Trooper. I never played as him, but his death sound is one of the best things in the game. Bespin Guard, excuse me, not Trooper. But yeah, that alone is going to give him some credit. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put him higher than the Force Ghost, higher than Anakin, higher than these 2 battle droids, but not quite as high as the Commander. So that works for me. Then we have Dewana Wanga, once again, Bib Fortuna. Love his little punchy punches, that's kind of cute. But then when you're in the main hub world and that little condensed version of Maz Eisley, he kind of just runs around, he's kind of a loser. He doesn't really pick a side, that's always bugged me a little bit. So we'll go ahead and, his punches are cute, so we'll put him above Ayla, who kind of recycles a lot of animations. Put him above Anakin because I think he has a cooler character design, and above Pinky. So yeah, I guess we'll call the Geonosis droid Pinky. Alright, so high C, that's fine. Baby Boba Fett, kind of same thing as Anakin, but he's a bad kid, not a good kid. So alright, we'll give him high D, that's fine. Actual Boba Fett. This is one of the best LEGO figures ever made. You cannot contest me on that. That is true. LEGO Boba Fett's great. Yeah, I always loved fighting him, I loved playing as him, I loved using his parts in the character customizer, so you know what, I'll give him an S tier, but Forlom did something very special for me. Although I will give Boba Fett props because he is one of 2 characters, the second being his father, where he had the rocket launcher Red Brick, which was very, very special and awesome, so of course. But then again, we have Lego Bosk. When we talked about the actual real-life character rankings, he took S tier, and he's going to take S tier here for the exact same reasons above the previous 2. I love Trandoshans, I love Bosk. He was always my go-to character in complete Saga, as well as LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, so he's all the way up, and I don't know if anyone's going to beat him, I'll be honest, it's going to be a tough call. Boss Nass, you're a loser, F. He doesn't even make the blah, blah, blah sounds. It's late at night. That's the best attempt you're going to get out of me. So, C-3PO's up there. I'd say higher than Beach Trooper, because even as a kid, and still to this very day, I love the fact that whenever he gets damaged, he loses a limb, and that's kind of his health bar. And that's just one of the staples of LEGO Star Wars that I think is totally underrated. I really love that. Then we have Captain Antilles, who of course only lasted 1 level, and he was kind of just thrown lazily by Darth Vader against the wall. There is a particular other Rebel Trooper who I value more than him, but there is still some nostalgia with him, so I'll give him a B tier. Not as high as Commander Droid, I don't think, but higher than Bespin Guard. Well, alright, higher than Commander Droid. And higher than Akbar. Again, it's New Hope, so yeah, that's how that is. Then we have... Jeez, I don't even remember his name. Even in playing the game, I forget his name, but he was from... not Phantom of the Opera. Oh my god, I'm tired. He's from Phantom Menace. We review too many figures on this channel, and I gotta watch my wallet. But yeah, this guy, he just has a gun. That's about it. But at least he has a weapon, so he's gonna be better than the kids. So there you go. All right. have fun there. Captain Tarples, I actually liked playing as him. He had the shield and the spear that kind of made him a little more special. So you know what? I'll go ahead and give him a low A tier. Nothing to be ashamed of there. Loser Senate Palpatine, same thing as Boss Ass. Guy just ran around. Didn't have any fancy animations with him, so he's going to go below Boss Nass. I think that works. Chewie has a lot of fun features to him. He's usually not the one I'm playing as whenever he's in a level, but the fact that when he wears a helmet, it's lopsided, but the disguise still works, and also he rips the arms out of any trooper that he comes across, and he has the bowcaster, and also he has one of the most nostalgic LEGO designs, in my opinion. Yeah, he's great. So I'll give him low A. I feel good about low A, just based on how many things he can do. Clones, I know I keep saying this, I know it's redundant, but they all look alike to me. They all feel the same, they all work the same, they all sound the same, especially in the LEGO game, and literally all these clones are exactly alike. So I guess I'm going to start with just choosing my favorite of them. Guess that's Cody, right? So I'd say you put Cody above all of these. I mean, he's the only named trooper, and the only reason why he was in the game at all is so he could function alongside Obi-Wan against Grievous, who's going to come up a little bit later. But yeah, I'd say Cody, give him a high C. High C, yeah. And then I guess I'll just quickfire these ones. I think this is the A-Wing pilot? Yeah, I think that's correct. A-Wing pilot? Not A-Wing pilot, but one of the pilots is going to go below him. Standard one, put it higher. Although I do actually own that pilot one still. Did I? I'm not sure. I have to review my collection. It's been a very long time. I might have owned these green guys. They're green, which is cool. Alright, I'll put them higher. I guess they're meant to represent the Kashyyyk troopers. Then we have the Recon trooper, if I'm correct. I'm not an expert with clones. I know a lot of people are, and they're probably scolding me right now. But, yeah, a little insignia is cool. But I kind of have nostalgia for the pilot. Actually, I'm going to reevaluate the pilot. Could have put him higher because I actually own that one. And I've actually always preferred the Phase 1 armor, so I'm going to put him above the Kashyyyk trooper, which is probably Greed when you really think about it, but I'll just call him the Kashyyyk trooper, that works. Dooku's kind of fun. I also, I think my favorite memory about him is how inconsistent his pain animation is when he gets hit. He like falls to the ground really quick, really hard, and if you hit him fast enough in quick sequence, then he just hits ground, then hits the ground, then hits the ground. He never actually gets back up in between each hit, so that's kind of a hilarious thing. He also has Force Lightning, which is really damn cool. I'd say we'll put him above Akbar. That works. Okay. Darth Maul, he's a very fun character, and the game absolutely knew what they were doing when they made him as over the top as he was in the game. So, yeah, I'd say higher than Dooku. That works for me. Darth Vader is great. Everyone loves Darth Vader. I love playing as Darth Vader. I love how he has those idle animations where he puts his hands on his hips, which is par for the course. But then if he's standing there for just a little too long, he crosses his arms, starts tapping his foot. The one thing that brings him back, though, is that he doesn't have his own unique death sound, which really sucks. But he's still goddamn Darth Vader. So I'd say higher than Boba Fett. But Forlom and Bosk, they have a little extra charm for me personally. Blech, I almost died. Also, Bosk has some really cool death animation sounds as well. I mean, all of them do, mostly, but, you know. Now we have... what's the name of these guys again? You don't encounter them much. They're the Death Star Troopers. I think that's pretty much what their name is. They're not as interesting as Stormtroopers. They're not around very long. They're kind of annoying when you're first playing the game. You realize you have to shoot down the cameras to stop them. But they're an okay temporary threat, I suppose. But I never really pay them any mind because there's just better troopers. I like the clone troopers better than them. But I definitely prefer them more than anything in D tier. So, alright, cool. They'll go there. Dengar is the most underwhelming bounty hunter in the roster, at least for me. But he's so cool. I think... a B tier, C tier. I really never pay him much mind. That sounds fine, though. Then we have Dexter Jetster. Obviously, we need to give him a little bit more points than the run-around, do-nothing characters in the main hub. So, give him... you know what? No, we'll give him a low D, just because he has 4 arms, and he's Dexter friggin' Jetster. So, alright. The Clone in Disguise. I always got a lot of amusement out of this one. When they first they're actually based on a deleted scene from Revenge of the Sith, where Obi-Wan and Yoda go to check on the temple, which is in total ruin. They think they see Jedi, but it's actually clone troopers dressed up in Jedi garb. So, but I didn't know that at the time, so when I encountered them in the game, I thought they were the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. So, honestly, I might put them higher than Akbar. Not higher than Dooku. Alright, higher than Akbar, that works. I love playing as a droideka as a kid, in LEGO Star Wars, and also in classic Battlefront 2 as well. Were they in Battlefront 1? I think so, yeah. I don't love them as much as I did now, but they were a big part of my childhood, and I never owned an official one, so I kept trying to custom make my own one out of extra parts that I had. So there is a little bit of nostalgia there for me. So I'll put them in low A tier, just out of respect alone. Standard Ewok, the chocolate Ewok, as my cousin once called them. I think I actually owned this one too. Pretty fun, pretty much losers in combat unless you have that torpedo extra. But they're really cute though. I love their irritable little screams as they die. So I'll go ahead and put them above, not above Bespin Guard in that respect, but above those two droids, fine. Gamorreans, they use their axe to play the guitar. That's pretty friggin' badass. I don't know how you could say no to that. So we're gonna go ahead and... I also had the original one for a time, like the real figure. You know what? Okay. We'll put them below Droideka. That works. Grievous was a fun character to play as. He's probably one of the most formidable ones to play as, just on the fact that he has like 4 lightsabers and he's pretty unbreakable when you're playing as him. As an AI, he's pretty fallible, but he is really cool. And that is a LEGO figure I do still have. He has a big old crack in the back of his neck, unfortunately, but yeah, he's kind of special to me. So I'll go ahead and put him over Tarpals, over Ben. Not over Beach Trooper, though. Geonosian? I always love the Geonosian, and how they have 2 blasters. I always thought that was pretty cool. So we'll put them above Akbar, not above Disguised Clone. Gonk Droid, yeah, he's gonna be up there. Low S for now, I think, but yeah, not that I'd... You know what? Low S, and here's why. We all know why Gonk Droid is so great. It is because of the extra and the irony that the game created its own joke and then made a parody out of that joke within the game itself, which is fascinating. As for being a character on its own, Gonk is a total loser, but then when you add the Super Gonk extra, then that's the biggest guffaw you could have in that game for sure. But then again, it's a character I never play as, but as for the ones above it, that's why they need to stay there, and he can't really top them, so... But nothing to be ashamed of. Tarkin's pretty cool. I liked his figure, I liked his, he didn't really have unique animations from the Imperial officer, but he did kind of close his eye, he had the revolver like Akbar did. He's better than any of the officers, easy. I'd put him above the Geo, not above Dooku probably, but above Disguised Clone. Alright. I always loved the Greedo figure. I love his cinematic death in the game. That was pretty great. We'll go ahead and give him a low A. And I love my bounty hunters as well. Magna Guards, again, also very fun to see them lose a limb, in this case being their head, when they're low on health. Also pretty hard to fight against, and actually very hard to fight against if you're not just outright cheating. If you just want to straight up duel with them, it does take a little bit of time, but also when you're playing as them, it is quite fun because they're one of the rare characters where they're wielding a melee weapon but not a lightsaber, so that helps them to stand out a little bit. So I'll put this one above Anakin for me, above the droids, above Akbar perhaps. Above Tarkin, above Dooku, not above Maul though. Maul was something special. They've got all the Hans. I'm probably just gonna put them in the package deal. If I was in a level where it had Luke and Han in it, I'd probably opt for Han just because he had better animations. Nothing else too memorable about his moveset or anything, but really just his moveset, not much in the way of animations or. I keep saying the same thing. I meant not much in the way of audio or weaponry as much. So I'm going to probably do another cluster here. So I'd say I do prefer Greedo over Han in terms of who I prefer to play as, but I would put him above... Damn. I'd say below Antilles would probably be right. No, below Maul, but higher than Magna. Okay, so default Han, then you got Endor Han, lower. Never cared about the Hoth Han at all. Got the Bespin one, I'll put him above Endor. We got the Skiff variant, above... Yeah, just because he has less clothes, I guess, there. The Stormtrooper one, though, I will give a little bit more credit there. IG-88, yeah, gonna be up here for the same reasons as Forlom, I think, but I do prefer Forlom just a little bit more. Royal Guard, another formidable opponent with a melee weapon that is not a lightsaber. Honestly, I'll give them A tier, just because their death sounds are one of the best, easy, almost bar none, but you know who the top is in terms of death sound. But, yeah, we gotta put him, I'd say above Tarpals, not above Ben. That works. Then we got the Imperial officers. Again, they don't hold a candle to Tarkin. He just does the best with the moveset and everything that goes with them. So he's definitely going to top both of them. Let me check that my audio is still going as I take a little breath of oxygen. Okay, both of them should probably go... I'd say think of them just a little bit more than the Death Star Trooper. I don't like the black variant as much. Garandan's an S tier. He's a sucky character, I know, but I fell in love with his character design. I loved him so much. And I did even play with him, like, just to have his companion character. Or I just threw him in the customizer to give him weapons so I could actually play as a lethal Garandan with a pistol or something, but I've always loved him. He's one of my favorite characters. I have a 6 scale figure of him from like mid-2000s, I think, but yeah, I always loved Elephant Man. I think his character design's really cool, and a little squeaky sound he makes, that's one of the best parts. Then the surprise character of the game, Indiana Jones. Never played as him much at all, ever, but he has a whip animation, which is kind of cool, so only fair to give him a high C tier, I think. That's reasonable enough. Jango Fett's very fun. I didn't like playing as him as much as I liked playing as Boba, but I did like using his parts a lot in the customizer as well. Good if you just want to make your own generic Mandalorian character, actually. Yeah, I'd say he'd still be up there. I'd say low A tier. That works. Jar Jar, death sounds were great. Double jump was fine. I'd say low C. No, he still has a unique head mold, though. At least it was Lego accurate. So yeah, young Anakin above him. One of the young Anakins, anyways. There's several of them, but anyway. Well, sorry, now there are 2 of them, but you know, moving on. Love the Jawa a lot. I'll give them an S tier. Oh, this is gonna be one of my saddest Lego memories. I had the original Lego Sandcrawler, but it fell apart in my hands, and I never went out of my way to actually fix it. So I no longer have the Sandcrawler, but I still have the figures, and I do love the Jawa a lot. I'd say between Gonk and Garandan. So, of course, if I have Jawa, that means I also have Gonk, which I'm very proud to have. I have them in a nice little acrylic display at my parents' house, so they're nice and safe. They'll be nice and cozy until I want to revisit them, so that's all good. Ki-Adi-Mundi's head is really stupid. I don't like what they did with it. I mean, I guess it's kind of funny in hindsight, but I never cared about the Jedi that they kind of just shoehorned in there. Same goes for Kit Fisto. So you know what? It's probably just going to be a Jedi gang. I'd put him below Ayla, Kit below both of them. I think he's the ugliest of the 3. Then we have, is this Ton Wee, or, it doesn't matter. It's one of the Kaminoans. I'd give them, they dance though. Dancing's good. I always love when they dance. So I'd say higher than, I don't know why, I just never liked the Death Star Trooper much, but yeah, put him above Death Star Trooper in C tier. Then we have 2 Landos. Best part about Lando is he has a unique animation with Leia where if you go up to her and press the attack button, instead he kisses her hand and she's like, nah, it's not going to work out, and obviously it doesn't, but I guess we'll put them both together. He's a little bit more exciting when he shows up in the roster than Han, so I'll actually put him above Han, just in terms of how exciting they are. Skiff Guard I'll put below just because I love the cape version, but yeah. Lobot's kind of fun, does a little bit of punchy punch, but that's about it from him, so wherever Bib is, I'm going to put him, I'd say above Bib, just because, I don't know, he's a little more funny in the game. Then we have a whole lot of Lukes. How many Lukes is this? Oh my god. 8? Is that 8? That's 8 Lukes. Jeez. Okay, well, let's go through this. So, alright, I think the best way to do, like, just variations of the character is just to think about just the idea of the character, how much would I like to play as them, how much have I played as them, or how much do I like their design. I played as Han more when his option was available, but when Luke was on his own, he was still just fine. I mean, it was just out of animation and combat preferences, that's why I chose Han. But Luke I prefer more as a character, definitely more than Lando, I'd say. So, alright, we'll start there. We first have the Bespin version. Oh, some of these have lightsabers, some don't. So let's start with the lightsaber ones. The Jedi Knight version is definitely going to be higher. I'd say it was still below Maul, though, just because Maul does some pretty special stuff. And the hokey giant lightsaber he has is pretty great. Going back to Luke, that's right, he had the Dagobah variant, also with the lightsaber. Liked it more than the Bespin version. You also had the Endor version. There's more lightsaber Lukes than I thought. I'd say above the Bespin one. I never liked the Bespin look for Luke as much. Don't know why. Never cared for this Hoth look. Never even played as it, I don't think. Like the pilot one a lot, actually. I'd say more than most of the lightsaber appearances. Stormtrooper version I like a lot as well. Not as much as the X-Wing pilot. Then we also have just standard Farm Boy Luke. I'd say higher than those ones. And you know what? Yeah, higher than Jedi Luke. I'm comfortable with that. Luminara gonna join the same gang of Jedi at the bottom that are poorly rendered. But she is the most faithful of 3 we've covered thus far, so that works. Mace Windu's great. I don't know why there's 2 versions of him. I mean, there are 2 versions in the game, I know that, but there's one with a darker outfit, and there's one with a tan outfit, and I don't know why that is. I guess for some reason I prefer the darker outfit. I don't know, it just feels more akin to his character, but his lightsaber animations are really awesome. Lego Vapod, you can't say no. And the purple lightsaber, purple's my favorite color lightsaber, I think. So I'd say I'm going to put him pretty up there. I don't play as him as much, but yes, I do still play the game to this day. I'd say higher than Magna Guard, perhaps not as high as Han, just based on a quantitative basis, so yeah, we'll go ahead and put him above Magna. That works. Obi-Wan's fine, never loved playing as him a whole ton, so below Luke, below Mace even, but higher than Magna perhaps? Well, in terms of nostalgia, I get more nostalgia from Magna, I'd say. For Tarkin, don't prefer the Geonosis scene as much. Alright, so we'll start our Obi-Wan circuit here. So we got the classic Hello There version. We got a longer hair Attack of the Clones version. I don't know, One Piece makes a difference for me. And the younger version I never really cared for as much. So, okay. Yeah, Padme Amidala, or whatever name you want to go by with her, because we do have her Queen Amidala version down here when you get to Q's. We're almost there, actually. If you can believe it, this is what qualifies as almost there. The roster is huge, but Padme never cared about playing as her at all. Like the designs of the clones more. She served more justice than these loser Jedi, so I'd say I like Lobot more, Fisto, Pinky. Then we have young Jedi Anakin. More than Jar Jar. Alright, that's fine. So we got a Naboo version. I can't even tell. From the top, both versions look the same. But I could probably put them on the same pedestal above the Naboo version, so that's fine. Whichever one would be the scarred variant, I put the scarred variant higher for obvious reasons. Then we have the younger one. No one cares about this one. And I don't even think she has a blaster, does she? I don't remember. I think she does, but I like this outfit better for her. Skiff Guard, never really cared, but he's better than the Death Star Trooper, I guess. But then again, the Kamino ones can dance. I always love the pit droids. They got a little bit of a nostalgia factor for me. So I'll go ahead and give them an A tier. I'd say I like them for the same reasons as I love Gamorrean. Not as much as... Alright, more than Django seems correct for me. Again, another actual Lego figure they made. I kept trying to remake, like the Droidica, but I like these two guys a little more than Pit Droid. So, the PK Droid, it was just a lame, watered-down version of the Pit Droid that I have no nostalgia for. So, we'll give him... It's fun to see him die. So, alright, we'll put him in D tier. High D tier. Actually, the Plo Koon was pretty well done, so I'll put him higher than the other Jedi that we covered. Let me take a sip of water. Okay. You know what, I decided maybe I lied. I think we'll cover levels on another day, just because I do have work tomorrow and I'm also getting very thirsty, so that's how we're going to do it. But we'll cover characters today. We'll do levels perhaps tomorrow or at some point during the week. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyways, we got a whole bunch of Leias. This time we have 7, one shy of Luke. Leia's a lot of fun. I love her smacking animation. That's hilarious when she just smacks someone in the face. Whenever I hear of the extra super slap, I usually think of her character because she literally just bitch slaps everyone in the game, which is pretty fantastic, regardless of if they will actually die or not. But I'd say lower than Luke, lower than Han. You know what? Actually, maybe I prefer her more than Han and more than Lando. So we'll put her up there. Oh man, this is going to be a bitch to get everybody up there. But we got the Bespin version. The Bouch version I'll put higher with the helmet on. I think that makes all the difference for me. We got the Endor version. I'd say pretty even with both of these. I'd say... I guess the Bespin version has that moment with the Lando, so that's fine. Then we have... I don't even remember what this one is. So I think it's like Hoth version. I don't remember. Then we have... Oh, this is the classic one. Obviously, you gotta put this one up here. I do have the original Lego version of this one, by the way, of the Tantive 4 Lego one. I don't know how I came across it. I think I got it in a trade, but I do have it. And again, it is protected in an acrylic case, so nice and safe. The Prisoner one, I was always confused as to why it was there. I don't think her outfit ever actually changed. I think they called it Prisoner, but I think it was just her outfit from Bespin, if I'm remembering right. Oh, she was a prisoner on Bespin as well, poor princess. But I'd say, or I don't even remember what that outfit is. So okay, that works fine. It's a lamer version of my favorite Leia variant. Oh, there's a slave one, not Hutt Slayer. It's Slave Leia. We know the movies, right? So, and she can also dance. So, you know, I'll put her below the Bouch one. Because, again, Scum and Villainy prefers overall bros before hoes. I'm going to shut up there. We got Queen Amidala. Beautiful figure. Took them way too long to make that actual one. But a very beautiful figure. But that's pretty much all I got to say on that. So, I'd say higher, not higher than Lobot. Higher than Bib. Yeah, fine. Qui-Gon, one of those characters that I know people really love. I wish I loved him a lot more. And he is one of the first. He is the first character you play as in the complete saga, I believe, which is pretty great. So I'm going to drop him. It wouldn't be fair to put him anywhere lower than C, nor would I want to. I prefer the Force Ghost more, so I'll give him high C tier. Okay, that's fine. R2's great. Love R2. We'll put him at a low A. That works for me. They have R2Q5, I believe. That sounds are really cool. Still not quite as good as classic R2. R4, I don't think anyone likes R4 much, but they're all kind of the exact same thing, just different noises and different colors, so that's fine. Rebel Friend! Rebel Friend! He's Rebel Friend! Need I say more? He's Rebel Friend. He's S tier for me. And also he's your friend. Did I mention that? Above Garandan. Okay. Yeah, above Jawa. In terms of impact, though, Garandan has had a bigger impact on me, though. So that's fine. Rebel Pilot. Does anyone really care? I'd say lower than Death Star Trooper. Because, I mean, we already have X-Wing Fighter Pilot Luke. And that's a superior version over this one. Generic Rebel Trooper, they're fun to force choke when you go in free play, so put them a little higher. Say a little higher than Wedge. Not Wedge. Wedge is his brother, right? Yeah, are they related? Because they have the same last name. What's his first name? I don't remember, but Captain Antilles, not as much nostalgia as a generic army builder trooper, which I still have a ton of for some reason. But Hoth Trooper, never really cared, never really played as him, but he has goggles, so I'll put him higher than the basic pilot. Naboo Guard, yeah, they're kind of all in the same vein. I did own this one, though. I think I owned all these at some point. But he's got a stupid grin on his face. No one's that happy. Shut up. Generic Stormtrooper. Oh, wait, there's two. Oh, there's a little bit of orange there, so that's a Sand Trooper. Another character I wanted to custom build as a kid. So I'm going to put him a little higher, put him in B tier. Not as high as Leia, but I'd say higher than Lando for me. Shakti, same thing, kind of. One of the more faithful ones, so we'll put her... Oh, sorry. We'll put her below Plo Koon. That works. Then we got another Skiff Guard. This is the, what's the species? The Weequay, that's right. Same as, Hondo Onaka, that's right. I'd say higher than the usual Skiff Guard, so that works for me. I forget what their names are in the game. I still they're both Skiff Guards to some capacity, but anyways. Snowtrooper, always love the Snowtrooper design. I'd say B tier. Probably B tier for the same reason that I have Rebel Troopers up there, so that works. Generic Stormtroopers, though, I think that's higher than all of those army builders, so we'll put him higher. Actually, there's Beach Trooper. You know what? Higher than Beach Trooper. Yeah, okay, that works. Then we have B2, Super Battle Droid. I think those... they're fun to kill, never played as them as much. I think they were kind of cheating if you did play as them, just because of the sheer fire rate, but, didn't they release, like, a really cool blue version? I always wanted that. I gotta check on eBay. I might get it just for fun since it's cheap. I doubt it is, but, I'd say, never really cared for it as much, but definitely better than a lot of the characters here. But, again, Kamino Wins Condensed. Speaking of Kamino Wins, this is Ton Wee, and this is, I think that's Lama Su? Ton Wee, like more, she has a blue neck. I don't know, doesn't matter. TC-14, just a lamer C-3PO. I'll drop her, I say, low C tier, because she's a copycat to me. Palpatine's awesome, we all know that. We'll drop him somewhere in A. I'd say, not as high as Chewie, honestly, but higher than Droideka. Okay. Then, I still own this guy. I really like him, the TIE Fighter pilot. I love how back then they didn't have a unique helmet mold for him at that point, but I still appreciate the humility in saying, like, yeah, it's just a generic helmet, but we'll repaint it to give you that image. So there's always been a lot of charm with this guy for me, so I'm going to put him kind of up there. I'd say below, no, maybe higher than the usual Stormtrooper. Okay. Tusken Raiders, I think I have one, or maybe two. I have one of the original ones. I have some of the new wave ones, which aren't nearly as fun, but I'd say, yeah, it's going to be an A tier for me. Higher than R2, higher than Django, higher than Pitt, Greedo, not as high as Gamorrean. Oops, there we go. Ugnaught, ugly little buggers, but so fun to kill, especially in that little factory. That's the only chance you do, other than the hub, now I think about it. But really annoying how they shut you down if you were a droid. No C-3PO, pun intended, because he does actually say that. But, I'd say... I don't really care for him much, but not a bad character, so what is a low C? Watto, kind of cool, prefer the Geonosian more. Low C again, more than a lot of the characters here, though. Higher than you. Again, Kamino Wins Condensed. Then we got Wicket. Love Wicket. I'd say higher than... Not as high as Han. Higher than Magna Guard, but not as high as Mace. Then we got the standard Wookiee Warrior. Never really cared for these as much. Kind of on the same playing field as the generic shooty shoot units, but definitely better than... Again, I think the B1 Battle Droid's cheating, so put it higher than... I mean, not B1, the Super Battle Droid. Higher than the SBD, that works. I've got the two Yodas. The original Yoda's definitely going to be an A tier. I'd say higher than the Astros. Higher than Palpatine in terms of nostalgia. Higher than Chewie. Higher than Tarpals, Guard. Ben. Grievous. Yeah. of higher than Stormtrooper. There's something about the Yoda design, the classic Lego Yoda, that I really love. Yeah, but C-3PO still has those falling apart pieces. I know Yoda has the best death sound in the history of gaming, but I still gotta hand it to C-3PO just based on how he has a visual health bar, more or less. So, Ghost Yoda, he's the coolest of the Force Ghosts, we'll just drop him there. Zam Wesell, last but not least, one of my least favorite of the bounty hunters. I feel like she's kind of tacked on. Accurate, faithful to the original Lego figure, but never played as her much at all. There's just better bounty hunters, I think. But we'll go ahead and we'll put her, say C tier, a little below Dengar. I think that's right. And then higher than any trooper, just because she's a bounty hunter. I like bounty hunters a lot. Okay. I'm going to have to call it a night. That was a lot of fun. That was about 45 minutes. I don't know if when I do the next one, if I'll link them together or if I'll do them separate. I'll figure that out on my own time. But this is really cool. So tomorrow or somewhere in the future, don't know when, I'm going to have a busy next couple of weeks. We're going to go back to this one. I got it saved. And this will be a deeper dive because there are actual levels. There's a lot more technicality to go through. And yeah, just a lot more little bits to go through. So yeah, the levels will be a lot of fun, and that's going to conclude this PODguy podcast. If there's any other rankings you want me to do, whether it be for video games, for movies, for characters, or anything like that, please do let me know. Again, I do these just for fun. I don't do them for views at all. That pretty much goes for every video on this channel. I do everything here just for fun, just for the people who enjoy it. So view count doesn't matter, but if you do sincerely enjoy these, then absolutely let me know. And you can have a little bit of creative license as to what happens next, so I think that'll be really fun for everybody. But anyhow, I'm going to stop it right here for now. Thanks very much for watching, well, for listening, or however you chose to approach this video. Take it easy, rock on, and I will see you all later. Hello my friends, and welcome back to Player Display. So, I've been a lazy son of a bitch, and I apologize for that. So, recently, say a week ago is recently, I did a PODguy podcast on all the LEGO Star Wars characters, specifically from LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, because what, there's like 4 LEGO Star Wars games now? I stopped counting at Saga pretty much, but, yeah, I said that we were going to do a character ranking, which I have done, but as of this recording, I have not uploaded yet. But if you are listening to this recording, you probably are aware of that recording, because I would have uploaded that recording before uploading this recording, because this recording is supposed to be the second part of the first recording, and both of them cumulatively are supposed to be a 2-part single recording. So, does that make any sense? Probably didn't, doesn't matter. But anyways, today, simply, we are just going to be reviewing, the LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga levels. And this is just, let me see, how far does this particular tier list go? Yeah, it's just the levels from Complete Saga, so we're not talking about variations of the same level that we saw in the older versions of these games, because, you know, levels were recycled from the very first LEGO Star Wars game, and then the LEGO Star Wars 2 original trilogy game, which I've also played, but so long ago that I don't remember it, and also there's no way to buy it, and if you pirate it, it's a demo version, which is totally broken, so yeah, there's I'm almost going to die. But we're just going to be talking about Complete Saga. I think this is every level that's in the game, including like the gold brick doors, some of the bonus content like Newtown, Lego City, and all that is over here. So it looks like they go in order of chronological order, then they kind of go into the bonus stuff. So that should help me to kind of remember what all the levels are. So ranking criteria. Pretty much just how much I enjoy them, how easy or difficult they are, learning curve, the character roster. There's going to be some I remember more than others, because obviously, growing up, and still to this day, there are some I play more than others. It's just a good, cozy game to revisit every 2 years. I think I've already said that in the last recording, but which you should have heard by now. But anyways, let's start off with negotiations. Now, this is not the very first level I ever played, because as I've said, I first played LEGO Star Wars 2 on my uncle's PlayStation way back. Yeah, it was a PlayStation, not an Xbox. Tomato, it doesn't matter. Negotiations is a good level. It's fine. It doesn't resonate with me a whole ton. Obviously, you got Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan kicking security droid ass as soon as you open up the level. Well, you have to force open a door, and then you get the intruder alert. That's a great entrance. You also got a whole bunch of side rooms. You got some PK droids kind of just walking around to destroy at your leisure, not really serving any purpose at all. You got some money machines. You got some good force-using opportunities to get to some mini-kits and stuff if you're in free play. There's just droids everywhere, wall to wall. It's pretty fun, especially if you want to destroy them, because they make some good sounds as they die. So, it's fine. It's good. Now, am I ranking these objectively? I guess so, because objectively kind of correlates to I like them subjectively. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and drop negotiations. And B tier, it's good. It's solid. I don't think I put it in C tier. I mean, it's good. It's not average by any means. It's fine. I wouldn't say it resonates with me a ton, but it's good to go. Invasion of Naboo, it's kind of just a corridor of a lot of annoying Gungans. Well, they're not really annoying. That's one of the benefits of this game. The Gungans don't really say much unless they die, in which case it's fine. But it's kind of a cool kinetic level. You got all the beasts kind of careening through the Naboo forest, through the water and all that. Then when you finally encounter Jar Jar, the biggest pleasure is that he doesn't talk. He just makes some noises when he's in pain, but that's about it. The level's kind of mid. It's not too special. It's just fine, but you can get through it without any issues, really. It's pretty easy. So, yeah, I'll give it a C. That's fine. We're not going to go through any of these with a fine-tooth comb, really. I mean, unless they're sincerely special or absolutely god-awful. So, some of these are going to be pretty lickety-split. Escape from Naboo is a big MFing level. It's quite a chore, as is Retake Theed Palace. Well, Theed more so. Escape from Naboo, not too bad though. Still a pretty good walkthrough, nice new territory to go through. We're on the overground, the mainland Naboo at this point. And then you got Padme, I think. I'm trying to remember because both these levels are very similar. But yeah, both of them, I think I prefer Escape from Naboo just because it's a little bit smaller. But other than that, they're both kind of the same to me. So I'll give that a C tier, but I think I'll go ahead. Will I put it below Invasion of Naboo? No, Invasion of Naboo, it's kind of not as creative, just because, again, it's kind of a straight shot. There's not a whole lot of room of creativity in terms of how you approach it. You're either a Jedi kicking ass, or you're a Gungan jumping, because that's all that Jar Jar's good for in these freaking games, and pulling levers, but I guess that's about it. And pressure plates and pushing things, but everyone can do that almost, unless you're a droid. But anyways, Mos Espa Pod Race. I don't know. It's kind of repetitive. The thing I think most people have agreed on is vehicle levels are not this game's strong suit. There are some great ones. Some of them are really fun. Mos Espa Pod Race, though, I mean, you do the exact same thing 3 times, and then the map varies ever so slightly through each run. It kind of just is what it is. Not a whole lot of room to, again, be creative. I mean, again, the approach for each of these levels is a very big deal. So, Mos Espa Pod Race, it's okay. I'll give it low C. I mean, I don't know how you could make it better is the thing. Like, it's acceptable, but it's nothing spectacular. Retake Theed Palace, again, we kind of already talked about that. It's a little too big of a version of Escape from Naboo, so I'm just going to put that between Invasion and Escape. I think that works, that's fine. Darth Maul is kind of a fun level. I'll give that a little bit more. I'll put it above Negotiations in terms of how memorable it is. I mean, it's a freaking kids game. We know that, but we still love it as adults. It's fine. There's literally nothing wrong with liking a kids thing as an adult. It makes you happy. It takes you out of your day, out of your head. It's okay to like these things. But that being said, Darth Maul's overly compensating double-sided saber is very exciting to fight against, and also its faithfulness to the movie is very cool. You got all the set pieces, you got the ray shields towards the latter half, and then you got the jumpy platforms and all that. So yeah, it's just a fun level. I really like it. Ugh. Blech. Sorry, is that Bounty Hunter Pursuit I'm looking at? Oh man, so we're moving into Attack of the Clones. Sorry, I should have announced Phantom Menace as we were going to Phantom Menace. It doesn't matter, but yeah, Bounty Hunter Pursuit, that's one of my least favorite levels in the entire game. It's a bitch to navigate. It's very hard to figure out what you're supposed to do, even when you have all the extras and you're just trying to just find the mini kits, man, and just let me out of here. The auto aiming is totally terrible. It's just shooting off in directions you don't want it to shoot, and nothing's getting done. I hate this level. It's getting an F. Pretty easy. Discovery on Camino. I really like this level. I'm going to put it above Darth Maul, actually, but I'll keep it in B. Not quite A tier for me. I don't know, I kind of like how quiet it is in the first half. You got the rain, you got the environments. That's a good thing across the board for these levels. All the environments are very cool to look at, especially for this game when it was coming out and for the audience it was made for. But, yeah, Discovery on Camino, it's pretty fun to go after Jango. Again, like kind of as I discussed in previous podcasts, I like that detective story that Obi-Wan had. I mean, yeah, it could be a little more kinetic, but speaking of kinesis, that's where you could argue this level is better than the movie, in that there is a little bit more action going on. You know, you got these droids going after him, and stuff like that after you learn about Jango. It's not like so quick. Then as soon as you learn that Jango is a very important key player in the Clone Wars that's about to happen, he doesn't just go off on the ship. You have kind of this little mini boss battle with this kid, Boba, who's actually manning the ship. That's right. And then Jango is on the ground on the platform, so it's pretty cool. Droid Factory. It's a pretty good one. I don't love it. I feel like it can be a little frustrating just in terms of how many opportunities you have to fall off of platforms and die when you're simply just trying to do some cool parkour and you wind up just having your plastic ass handed to you. But the Geonosians are pretty fun to fight, especially since they have two alternating blasters, as I've discussed in the last podcast, which you should have heard by now. But yeah, it's pretty cool. The environment is gorgeous to look at, especially when you got all the industrial stuff going on. It's pretty good. It's fine. I'll put it above Pod Race, above Invasion of Naboo, and I'd say above the two Naboo levels, well, the two Theed levels, I guess, right? Jedi Battle's pretty fun. This is one of those, I guess what I'd call sandbox levels, where you can run around, do whatever the hell you want. It's kind of boring that a lot of the Jedi are kind of just cut and paste, but it's still a cool level to just vibe in, just run around and kill a whole bunch of stuff. It's a gladiator level, and whether you're in story mode or free play mode, you're going to have that scratch itched, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, as long as you don't kill the main characters that they want you to kill, like if they're saying specifically kill 4 SPDs, then it's an infinite level. It's bottomless. They just keep throwing droids and Geonosians at you. It's a lot of fun. So you know what? In terms of how many times I've replayed it, I'll go ahead and give it an A tier. Makes sense to me. Gunship Cavalry, that gets an F, but I will actually put it above Bounty Hunter Pursuit, because at least with Gunship Cavalry, there's a learning curve. Like, you eventually learn, oh, okay, so I got those little explodey ball things, and then you can kind of, depending on what console you're working with, you can kind of learn to get in the direction you want, but then again, you still have the Hailfire droids, and they kind of get in the way, so that's a pain in the ass. That makes it impossible for me to put it into D tier. But Bounty Hunter Pursuit, there is no learning curve. It's just randomly shooting things, and sometimes the things you want to shoot at don't get hit, and you just kind of get there by luck. So that really sucks. Yeah. Count Dooku, kind of underwhelming. It's fine as a level. I'm going to give it D tier. A little too short and a little too easy. I mean, you see it again in, I don't remember the level, but the Emperor's level where you're fighting him, where, oh no, you're being electrocuted. You switch to the other character, and then you defeat the boss and get rid of a heart. You know, it's kind of just all that, just over and over again. It's not really that creative. So, as a level, it's fine, but as a boss level, it's kind of underwhelming. So I'm going to give that a D tier. Now we have Battle over Coruscant, so we're moving into Revenge of the Sith territory. This one's kind of fun. It's probably the most creative of all the vehicle levels, where it's kind of a fixed camera, and you're following either Anakin or Obi-Wan, depending on if you're multiplayer, single player, whatever, through this Coruscant crossfire, and it's a very cool cinematic experience. It's really fun to look at. I wouldn't say replayed it a whole ton, because once you play it once, that's kind of the only reason to play it. I mean, unless you want to go in again and you miss any mini kits or anything, which is kind of unfortunate because this is the only level where you can go through once and get literally everything you need. So it's a little embarrassing. You kind of gotta go in with your tail between your legs if you're going in through free play to get everything else. But I mean, yeah, it's a pretty fun level. I will give it a B tier. Again, not A tier, because it doesn't quite resonate with me. Again, I wasn't revisiting it a whole lot. I'd say below Negotiations. Works for me. Chancellor in Peril is pretty fun. There's a lot of levels to it, a lot of layers. Sorry, I can't insert the Shrek meme that I often do. No one's mentioned that, curiously enough. Every time I have an action figure review and I say something about layers, I always have that Shrek meme, but no one said anything. So it makes me wonder, are they just really pissed off about it? Or is it just a cute little inside joke? I wonder, how are you guys feeling about the Shrek meme? I am really curious about that. But anyways, Chancellor in Peril, it's a pretty fun kinetic level. I don't think about it a whole ton. I'd say I'll give it a solid C tier. I'll put it above Droid Factory because you have less chances of just getting royally screwed over because of the environment. Yeah, Chancellor in Peril just has more enemies in it. It's just a little more fun. General Grievous, another case of a level that's too small for its own good, and it's just not a great boss battle. Low D tier, for similar reasons as to why Count Dooku's in D tier. But General Grievous is a lot easier to defeat, so it's sadly weak for a villain who's very cool to play as, unfortunately. But Defense of Kashyyyk, it's pretty good. I'll give that a solid C tier. You're saving the Wookiees. It took me a little longer than I'm willing to admit as a kid to actually find the Wookiees to save, but below Retake of Theed Palace. No. What am I thinking? You're fighting clones and droids at the same time as Yoda, which is pretty kick-ass. So I'd say above Escape from Naboo. Yeah, above Droid Factory, but not above Chancellor in Peril. Okay. I don't know why. I always love Ruin of the Jedi. I also love how they have the disguise clones, which are an homage to a deleted scene from Revenge. So I think that's really cool. As I saw that as a kid, I thought that was the funniest thing. And I don't know. I just liked going through the Ruined Temple. It's a pretty short level, but yeah, I just think cosmetically it was really cool to look at, just explore, look around. There was some Easter eggs too. You had to find some training remotes at one point. I thought that was a little fun. I think it's one of the ones where the game had the most creative license in contrast to what we actually got in the movie. So I actually like this one. So you know what? I'm going to give this an A tier. I think it's a good level. It's pretty fun, pretty somber. I like how quiet it is. And the enemies are pretty fun to beat up. So yeah, I'll give it an A tier. I think it's pretty good. Now, I know, Darth Vader, that's everyone's favorite. For me, it's not really, because I always played the single player. I never had that kid brother or best friend from next door to play it with. I was always playing my video games alone. Yeah, sad, tiniest violin, whatever. But yeah, when you're growing up doing it alone, it's fun, it's explosive, it's kinetic, but when you're playing it on the most laggy as shit computer from the 2000s, oh my god, this level will hand you your own ass on a silver platter, especially in that last parkour section where you're jumping across the platforms, across the lava, literally floor is lava, and then you lag so hard when you jump, or if there's an explosion, you go in the lava immediately, but that's not fair. I just had a potato-ass computer, so I won't knock the level for that. So even though it's not in my very, very top, it is a good level. I do like it a lot. It is fun to go through when you have a good computer. So I'll go ahead and put it above all my other A tiers over here. Now we make it to New Hope. Secret Plans. Oh man. Here's where you get to my favorites. And Secret Plans is my S tier. This is the level I started with. I started my journey with. And you know me, I'm a New Hope buff. That's my favorite Star Wars movie. And everything about it. Secret Plans is so great. The music, the faithfulness to the movie, and when it verged off to creativity, and then you had the hero the unspoken hero of Star Wars, Rebel Friend. Who knows what happened to him after this? No one. But oh god, I love Rebel Friend so much. You have no goddamn idea. I love Rebel Friend. I loved seeing him the very first time I played the game on my uncle's PlayStation. I'm like, who the hell is that? And then you just have a generic Rebel Trooper in red clothing. I'm like, it's a Rebel Trooper, but he's wearing red. And as I've said multiple times on this channel for different reasons each time, redder is better. It's a fact. You put something in red and it looks cooler, unless it's like a weird holiday exclusive Darth Vader figure, which has happened before. Except for that Revenge of the Jedi figure. That figure was pretty cool. But anyways, losing my train of thought, Secret Plans, that's my favorite LEGO Star Wars level. That's the one that gets me the most excited. Through the Jungle and Wastes, that's another very personal one for me. A very long level, but again, like Secret Plans, I think it balances the creativity and the faithfulness to the films very well. I love the droids, I love building the droids, destroying the droids, having those stormtroopers at the very end. I thought that was kind of a cool idea. And just the way that they rework the story so that way it could be a playable thing. You know, like, in the film, all of this, the events that occur in this level, could probably be condensed into, like, what, 5-10 minutes? But when you're actually playing it and you're into it, it could take, like, a good 30 to 45. I mean, that's how much content that they shoved into this game. And that's just the story mode. With replay mode, though, there's so much more you can do. I just think it's fantastic. Then again, you also have Mos Eisley Spaceport. And this is the sandbox level. No pun intended, I know it's a sand level, yeah. But it's better than the main hub of all three games. You could just go in there, vibe as any character as you want. You have infinite enemies coming your way, but not so much that they're irritating. You can also just chill out, relax, go to the spa in free play mode in the back of the level for some reason. But yeah, it's probably the level that I always went back to the most. But yeah, another S tier, put it above Jungle and Waste, works for me. Rescue the Princess is a really cool level. I love how you have a stealth option. You can wear the Stormtrooper helmets. You can go through without hurting people, at least for a while. Eventually you kind of have to give it up when you are forced to build something, and apparently the Imperials are like, they're building something for us, shoot them! I don't understand that logic. But yeah, this level makes my heart happy, but not as much as the S tiers over there, so we'll give it high A. Death Star Escape, they're kind of the same level, just a part 1 and part 2, like kind of like the 2 Theed levels we were talking about before. I don't know, I think I prefer Rescue the Princess. I find the final stretch with retrieving the Falcon to be a little bit tedious, although I will give it points where you can go into that room where in story mode you see Ben Kenobi fighting Vader, but in free play mode you can go in, if you're a bounty hunter, you can actually fight Vader yourself and kill him in whatever way that you like. Either just throw a detonator right at his head, or try fighting him with a blaster hero, or just keep it with a tried and true, dutiful, honorable lightsaber duel with any character you like. So yeah, I put it right below Rescue the Princess, but it's a good level. It's solid. Now we have Rebel Attack, again, another vehicle level. These aren't great, but it is better than the F tiers. It's manageable. It's fine. Above General Grievous, I'd say above Dooku as well. Yeah, but I always prefer to be playing as a character instead of a vehicle, most oftentimes. Then again, Hoth Battle, we're moving on to Empire, obviously. I actually always liked Hoth Battle. It's a little tricky. Again, it's a matter of learning curve and having a good computer, but in this case, I really like this level. I think it's very fun. Pretty well balanced, too, in terms of difficulty. Excuse me. And also going back in free play. This warrants one of the best free play runs, I think, just in terms of looking in all the nooks and crannies, finding all these secret little alcoves in the snow to find the mini kits or the red brick. So yeah, I like Hoth Battle a lot. Probably my favorite vehicle level in this entire game. I'd say I'll probably give it a B tier. Probably above Discovery on Camino. That seems pretty good. Well, higher than Ruin of the Jedi, Jedi Battle, Darth Vader. And higher than Death Star Escape. Alright, so change of plans there. No pun intended with secret plans, but anyways, yeah, Rescue the Princess, I'd put it above that. Escape from Echo Base is a pretty cool one. I found it a little infuriating as a kid because, again, I had lag issues and anger issues. Those are not a good combination. But, yeah, pretty solid level. Not a whole lot to say about it. It's good. It's fine. I'll go ahead and give it a B tier. Probably put it above everything here just because I like anything OT a little bit more. Falcon Flight sucks. I hate Falcon Flight a lot, especially in story mode, where if you don't have like extras and stuff in place, if you're in story mode, you're just having all this unnecessary rubble careening towards your head and blowing you up, losing all your studs and your hearts, and those goddamn torpedoes. I hate those. Yeah, this level really pisses me off. I think Bounty Hunter Pursuit and Falcon Flight are subjectively my least favorite levels. I think Falcon Flight is my least favorite of them all. I really just don't like this level. It's not fun, it's very irritating, there's no learning curve that could save your ass. You kind of need to just hope to get through it in story mode, then in free play go back in and have like regeneration or something just to balance things out. So Falcon Flight, I think it's just a bad level. I don't like it. Dagobah, never really got hooked on it, but it's a good level. I've never been a huge fan of forest or swamp levels. That's just me. It's a preference thing. But, I mean, it's good. It's kind of cool. You got all the swamp life, I guess, wildlife, whatever you want to call it. You get to play as Yoda for the first time, at least if you're playing the original trilogy. Yeah, and then also in the story mode, it's really cool how Luke can't use the Force immediately. Yoda himself needs to do it for him to show him the way of the Force. Then they gotta run, jump, and then Yoda can be a backpack as you run. Seagulls, stop it now. Sorry, I had no choice. I had to say it at some point on this channel, but it's solid. C tier is fine. I'd say, yeah, top C tier. Top C tier. Okay. Cloud City Trap, where you fight Darth Vader. Again, it's kind of got that issue where it's a little bit redundant, but admittedly it is one of the better boss battles. I'd say above Escape from Echo Base, but not on quite the A tier for me. And also I imagine this is one of those levels where if you're playing multiplayer, someone gets stuck as a droid, and that can't be very fun. As great as R2 is, you can't really do jack shit with R2, so that's unfortunate. Betrayal over Bespin. It's a pretty fun and crazy level. A lot of creativity in the layout of it. Again, a case where they have a very small scene in the film, and then they expand on it in the game, and they do a very good job with it. So, I'd say a B tier, because I want to give it a little more credit. Above Negotiations, Maul. Maybe not above Camino, though. I like the Camino level a lot. Don't know why. Return of the Jedi, we have Jabba's Palace. Now, this is one of those levels that got me totally stuck for the longest time as a kid. And on two areas within the level. The first time is when you're rescuing the droids. I could not figure out how to get those droids out of those little prison chambers for maybe a year. I hate to admit it. Like, I remember I was talking about the game with a kid, and the kid was totally useless. I was like, I'm stuck at the droid part. I don't know how to get them out. And he wouldn't give me the answer. All he said is, find the stupidest way. Can you give me a little more here? Find the stupidest way. I'm like, all right, well, middle fingers to you. So I couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, oh, you jump inside the cells to pop them out. So that's not good on the game's part. I just feel like that's not, you know, they don't even give you a hint or anything really. That is the stupidest way. The kid was right, as useless as he was. But it's stupid. It's not good game design. I didn't like that part. But the rest of it was really cool. Again, I love Jabba's Palace, Common Villainy, and all that. Love the enemies. I love how you have to shut down those little Gamorrean guard doors. And the final confrontation with the Rancor is really cool. You have every single hero in there. So that was a really fun little change. But the second area where I got stuck, and it's for the dumbest reason, this was me being stupid, not really my fault, is when you get to the bounty hunter door, they have Boba Fett's helmet, but you're supposed to use Bausch's helmet, or Leia's helmet rather, to open it. But I couldn't put two and two together. Me freaking on the autistic spectrum. I'm like, oh, it's Boba Fett's helmet. Therefore, you need Boba Fett to open the door. My autistic brain couldn't friggin' figure out, oh, Bausch is also a bounty hunter. Therefore, they might also be able to open the door. So, it's the stupidest thing. That was not my fault. I feel like the usual gamer should have been able to figure that out. I could not. So that was my fault, but that's another area where I was stuck for the longest time. I'm like, oh, that's how you do it. But all that being said, I really do like this level a lot. It does have a special place in my heart for as much as it's trying to screw me over. So I will give it an A tier. You know what? Yeah, high A tier. Above even Rescue the Princess. That's good. Great Pit of Carcoon. On that note, maybe I should take some water. Here we go. Oh my god. Anyway, Great Pit of Carcoon. It's a difficult level, but then you realize, oh, I can build turrets, I can build things to protect me, to block and stuff like that. It's a pretty good shooter level, I think. Especially when you have everyone off in the distance. It's kind of like a target gallery, so it's kind of fun, actually. I'd say I'd give it a solid B tier. I don't love it as much as the A tiers. I wouldn't call it average. I think it's a pretty strong level. And then, oh, you also get the disco dance room with the Gamorreans, so that gives a lot more points. So, I'd say Cloud City Trap with Vader. You know what? But I don't like Cloud City. Wait, did I just skip a level entirely in my head? No, I didn't. Sorry. Yeah, Cloud City Trap. That's when you're fighting Vader. That's right. Great Pit of Carcoon. I think I prefer more than the Vader level, so I'm gonna give it a low A. Carcoon. Speeder Showdown. Again, I don't like a level that's too redundant. It's fun and kinetic at all, but for a few minutes, then you realize that you have to do the whole same thing again 10 more times, and that just waters down everything that's good about it. And I feel like every area is too big, and half the game is running on foot, which is really friggin' boring with nothing to do. So honestly, I don't like this level much. But it's not insufferable like an F tier. So I'd say Rebel Attack. Which level attack? It's a vehicle level. So that's definitely going to be below Rebel Attack. I think that's good. A Battle of Endor, again, that was another level that lags so hard I could barely enjoy it as a kid, but it's pretty fun. Again, not a huge forest terrain fan in video games in general, but this one it's pretty good. I think one of the biggest issues with this game in general is that when you do reach a level with foliage, the grass and the bushes and stuff, they have really big hitboxes, so you can't shoot through a hedge or anything, so it kind of hinders what you're able to do. It can get killed because of that, because in the space of time where it takes for you to realize, oh, I can't shoot through that area, let me go stand over here and shoot at the troopers from here, and then you die. So it's a tough call there, but yeah, overall it's a good level. It's pretty fun, quite lengthy, but it's pleasant if you have a good computer. So I'll give it a C tier. It's just fine, but a high C tier, I'd say. I'd say higher than Dagobah. I'd prefer to play Endor over Dagobah. Then we have Jedi Destiny. This is the best boss fight level, in my opinion, of all of them. That's not Darth Vader. Darth Vader's kind of a special case. But Jedi Destiny, this is a boss fight done right. It's not repetitive. You have the surprise of being able to play as Vader, which blew my freaking mind. It's extremely creative compared to the movie. Nothing wrong with the movie. That's a different conversation. Every movie's got its flaws, whatever, da-da-da-da-da. But in terms of diverting from the film to give you a proper gaming template, this level did everything just right. I'm going to give this an A tier. So, let's see. Above Jedi Battle, certainly. Above Hoth Battle. But Rescue the Princess is kind of special to me, so, yeah. They have Into the Death Star again. Not a vehicle guy. I prefer Rebel Attack more. But, Speeder Showdown, I guess I prefer more. Count Dooku and General Grievous are pretty lame. Okay, so that's all the main levels. I only have all the bonus levels, so I gotta try and remember these because I haven't played these as often. Pod Race Original sucks ass. It's really bad. I definitely prefer to play the one that they wound up going with. So Pod Race Original, if you don't know why they mean that, this is the one that they used in the very first Star Wars game of the three. And then you had Star Wars 2, then you had Star Wars The Complete Saga, and then that's when we had the version that we have in low C tier. That's where it is. But this one sucks because it's on a timer, and timers are terrible. They have to restart all your progress. You have the worst health bar ever. Like, I feel like if a single grain of sand touches you, you explode, which I guess kind of makes sense in hindsight because you're playing as Anakin and he notoriously hates sand, but it's no excuse. In video game world, it sucks that a little bit of just terrainage explodes you on impact, and there's also a timer on top of that. This level's bad. I think it might be the worst level in the entire game, but it doesn't annoy me as much as the other levels have because I haven't needed to play it as much. You play it once and you're all set. But it is bad. So, and there is a timer. Falcon Flight's unforgivable. Bounty Hunter Pursuit, I guess you can kind of grin and bear it, but alright, so there it is. F tier's pretty much F tier for F tier's sake. There's not a whole lot of pulling teeth I could do, or splitting hairs, whatever metaphor you want to go with. Anakin's Flight, it's just fine. It's just there. It should have been in the main 6 levels, I think. But it's very much the same as Rebel Attack, but not as nostalgic for me. I do prefer Speeder Showdown, Into the Death Star as well. Not as much as these two boss battles, though. The original Gunship Cavalry is also very bad. But Falcon Flight, I hate it a lot more. Just on the fact that you gotta play it more. So, on that fact. A New Hope, cute little level. There's kind of no point to it. It's kind of just there. But you play Darth Vader, you run around, and when you think about it, it's kind of the original Rogue One, right? It's kind of beta Rogue One, which is kind of funny in hindsight when you look back in retrospect. But it's a fun little level. You know, I'll give it a B tier. I'd say I prefer it more than Darth Maul, again, in terms of nostalgia. More than Betrayal over Bespin, but Discovery on Camino is kind of cool. So, yeah. Then we have Lego City. Hey! And then we have Newtown. Wait, no, that's Freetown that's in The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett stuff. I was going to say, hey, if that's Freetown, then that's also kind of funny, but no, it's not. I kind of got to bunch these together. Newtown is smaller than Lego City. They're alright. They're kind of nice levels to just relax and vibe in and explore, but they don't really do much. I'd say put them above the mediocre boss battles. I think that's okay. So, above Count Dooku, above Count Dooku. Like, I'd prefer to play Count Dooku and General Grievous, but they both leave me wanting more than the two, like, city-related levels, so that works for me. But, I think that's a wrap. I think that's, well, yeah, that is a wrap. That is all the levels here. So, I guess just for funsies, we'll go over my least favorite level and my most favorite level. Let me take some more water. Let's discuss those really quick. Yeah, I can't stand Falcon Flight at the very bottom of F tier because I feel like whether you're in story mode or in free play, it's not fun because you always have all this rubble and ships careening after you while you're trying to very meticulously destroy asteroids and get those turbo bomb things, and then you have to wait for the target to rotate and face you so you can shoot it, and then hopefully it hits the target, but sometimes it will miss because the meteor keeps turning. So it's I think it's the worst designed level of all of them. Like, even with good intentions, it's just not well thought out. It's just not fun to play. I don't like that level at all. Okay, and skipping through all of this, because we talked about all of them, We'll talk about secret plans. I love secret plans so much. I feel like everything that's good about a LEGO Star Wars level is in this level. I love the character roster, I love the surprises, I love the Easter eggs, I love the faithfulness to the film. I love how when you go back in free play, you have all these new doors that are open, quite literally and figuratively. Then you go like in story mode when you pull those two levers and you see Vader Force choking all those rebel guards, which is such a good Easter egg. I think I missed that on my first ever playthrough, but then when you open that door later, you realize he's not there. But you can go in, you can see like they have like this greenery for some reason, like this little botany area with the plants and stuff. So that's really fun. And then it's just all these little alcoves and nooks and crannies that make Tantive 4 so much fun. Then you also have Rebel Friend. He's your buddy. I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's just the one that makes me the most giddy about this entire game. It's the one I look forward to the most. It's great. I love Secret Plans a lot. So, anyways, that's about it. At the end of every podcast, I get very hungry because I'm not used to talking this much because there's not a lot of people to talk to these days. Not just for me, but for the world. There's not a lot of people out there. I don't know where everyone went. But these podcasts are very fun. So, anyways, that's a wrap. This was very pleasant. Again, if you are one of the 7 people that watch these, then by all means go in the comments and let me know what else you'd like me to cover. Like, I don't know every single IP out there, but anything Star Wars they could probably do. Batman and Spider-Man are cool. I don't know. We'll see. We'll think about it. But anyways, that's a wrap. This was a lot of fun. Hope you had fun as well. Thank you very much for listening or watching or however you chose to approach this. Take care, rock on, and I will see you all later.